Greetings and salutations, my friends. Welcome to another Total War Warhammer 2, that second one of that Warhammer Games Workshop game. Today we are looking at the fun stuff. In the previous episode, we looked at the sort of, your basic infantry melee choices. Today we are looking at the top end stuff and some really badass, scary stuff. So first we're going to look at the Black Guard of Naggarond. We're going to look at the Har Ganeth Executioners and the amazing Witch Elves. So let's have a look at these dudes first. Let me go into cool mode. Very looking cool halberdier type dudes ready for action. My favourite ones are these. They stand ready to hit someone for the entirety. Like, surely their arms must get tired. I think they could have animated these better. Like, that could be their charge, but maybe they should have them down by their sides, like a samurai or something. This seems a bit weird that they permanently stand there ready to hit someone. And then we have the amazingly half-naked, dagger-wielding Witch Elves in their loose formation. So, let's have a look at the Black Guard first. They're an expensive unit, but they are absolutely amazing. So they are ridiculously well armoured. They've got armour piercing with their halberds. They're anti-large and the defence against large opponents. They all come in unit size of 100. 110 armour, amazing leadership of 90, not the quickest, but their melee attack is 36, and melee defence is 48. You've got 44 weapon strength. If we look at the bonus versus large, it's absolutely huge of 24, and good armour piercing as well, so okay, thank you. Offer the blood to Cain. Good for you, mate. And a charge bonus of 18. They've got the charge defense versus large, which we saw. They can hide in the forest. They're immune to psychology, another benefit. And they have the murderous prowess, this version of it. It's not the best because they've got plus 20% armor piercing missile damage. Not great unless they're going to throw the halberds at stuff. But it's a very good buff, of course, that the Dark Elves have. So, obviously, the way you're going to play these is they're going to be part of your main front line. They're going to be picking on the highly armoured guys, obviously the cavalry and the monstrous stuff like that. So, they're a little bit, standard, basically like the spearmen that we just looked at. I've totally forgotten what they're called, dread spears, but just much more effective. So next up, we have the Har Ganeth Executioners. They are also ridiculously well armoured and armour-piercing, but these guys are anti-infantry. A big swing of the sword can, kebab a few guys, and they've got the murderous mastery, of course. Armour 110. If we look at the differences between the two, they've got 600 less hit points, 8 less leadership, but still really, really good. Melee attack plus 2, defense minus 12, weapon strength minus 2, and a little bit more of a charge bonus, and a slightly different murderous mastery, which is actually better suited to them. They also cause fear then as well, which is really nice. Their weapon strength is 42. They're divided up. The bonus is obviously versus infantry. 14, very, very nice. So obviously we know what we're going to be doing with these. These go after infantry, these go after the big stuff. These are more of your frontline guys. These are more sort of looking for the big scary monsters and the stegodons and all that sort of good stuff. Then we get onto the fun stuff. I just love stuff that does crazy amounts of damage. So this is the Witch Elves. I won't compare them because they're incomparable. They got boobies. They are totally different. So they're anti-infantry. They've got the Madness of Cain. The Witch Elves' venom makes its target susceptible to the Madness of Cain, forcing it into madness, rampaging bloodlust. They also have the Murderous Mastery and the Dodge ability. And it's good that they have the Dodge ability because they have 5 armour, which is basically a metal bra, for all I can see. Good leadership, very good speed. They've got the melee attack of 38, and this is the Madness of Cain, which is a debuff to melee defense, speed, and it causes them to rampage as well, meaning the enemy can't control the units, which is really, really good. Melee defense of 26, weapon strength of 32. The bonus versus infantry is good, but it's not the level we saw some others. They just are very good all round. They've got a decent charge bonus of 24, and they've got the frenzy ability, which is obviously those buffs before, and all the usual stuff. Their physical resistance is 20% because they dodge stuff. Man, if only I could have a 6-pack like one of them ladies. I thought I'd say that. Right, so obviously these aren't your frontline troops. These are more, you're going to have a frontline, depending on your budget, of the Bleak Swords and Dread Spears as your main line, or the Black Guard, or the Har Ganeth, depending on where you are on the campaign or your money. But a mixture of those units is going to be your main front line. These Witch Elves, for me, are always best on the flanks. They don't engage first because they are vulnerable still. Even with that physical protection of 20%, it doesn't make up for 110 armour. So what I do is obviously use them as flanking units. They're much quicker as well, so they have the potential to go after archers and artillery units as well. If you don't have anything like harpies or some shooty stuff to get rid of the artillery, they can, but their best use is basically to come in from the flanks and just mop their way along the line, or driving from the back, because that's where they do their damage. They are ridiculously good at, especially obviously keep the morale high, so you've got that frenzy. Again, that's kind of why you don't want them in a big fight for a while, because if their morale drops, their usefulness drops. So there we go. There is our little mini guides to the more elite infantry melee units. We're going to now go on to the ranged units. So please go and check out that video. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.